Hey everybody, HMV here, playing Factorio, and we are doing something special here. We're doing a no handcrafting run, and by no handcrafting, I mean no handcrafting, hence the term Laziest Bastard. These are going to be sped up. I actually played the game, this is going to be an hour play session, and I sped the game up 3 times here during the replay. So as you're watching it, any of the boring stuff goes by a little bit quicker, and you get to the good stuff faster. The Laziest Bastard, I really like the Lazy Bastard achievement. It's one of the 2 times I beat the game was one was the first time I ever beat it, and the second time was the Lazy Bastard achievement. I really enjoyed it, but I didn't like the fact that I had to craft anything at all. It felt felt anti-thematic to the game. So I made a mod, and the mod gives you a solar panel and a assembly machine and a power pole so that you can assemble things in the assembly machine, and you can actually turn off handcrafting completely and just never handcraft anything. Of course, you can't do that at night because the solar power doesn't work. But anyway, so my first goal here was to get coal and then some iron because I need to get that automation set up ASAP. So I need to get science going really quickly. I'm setting up auto research here. I love the auto research mod because you can queue up everything that you want. And what I want is trains. This is going to be a train centric world where we're going to have a lot of trains going everywhere. So I set up all my early research, including a couple things that we'll get to a little bit later, but most notably weapons. I need to have some weapons and some turrets and things before I expand out into biter territory. So, and then I just went right to rail signals at the end. So the last thing that we're going to research automatically is going to be those rail signals. And once we get that, then we can start doing that. But before then, that's what I would consider kind of the ramp up stage. But anyway, so we're doing copper here. Basically now I have something and everything. I'm making coal down on the right there. I've got iron going on the left, and then I've got copper. And then now what I'm doing here is I'm dropping a couple blueprints down. And one of the cool things about 0.15 is you get blueprints right away. And that allows me to drop these blueprints down and then build them myself. And then this is going to allow me to get things like you see down in the lower right there, we've got gears and circuits being made, and then in the middle there we've got belts, and then the top we've got just a really simple red science thing. And all I need to do is once I build these, I can plop the resources in the chests, and then I start getting a lot of stuff being made for me because I can't make it myself. That's the key. So also, I've got the BlueBuild mod installed that's going to automatically build those things for me, kind of like as if I had robots, which you could consider that a cheat, but I really don't. You're going to see here, as soon as I pick up this lab, it just got placed automatically by the BlueBuild mod. And the BlueBuild mod isn't as OP as that, but I've also got long reach installed, so they kind of go together, that I can BlueBuild with long reach, which is really nice. So my first goal here is science, and as the night falls, I realize that's probably not the right first goal. My first goal probably should have been steam power, but I've already committed to science, so I decided to keep going with it. And one thing that does keep running at night is the furnaces. So I'm at least generating resources, even if I can't convert them into anything right now. And here I'm turning off all my crafting options. I have to hit Control Shift Alt and click on the thing to actually craft it. And the reason I do that is because I don't want to accidentally craft anything. I want this to be a pure zero crafting thing. Chopping down these trees first of all for wood, obviously, and second of all because this is where my little minibus is going to be going. I don't know if minibus is a generic term that everybody uses. It's basically a very simple bus that's not actually a bus. I got the term from Scarhoof, who also plays Factorio on YouTube. You should check him out if you don't know him. But he builds one, and I had made my own already, but I didn't have a name for it, so I'm just using his name. So you notice that when I placed those poles, by the way, that you would think that the BlueBuild mod would have placed those poles, but it didn't, and there's a reason for that you'll see later. In short, those aren't the normal electric poles. I have another mod installed that I'll talk about when the time comes. And but anyway, so we're doing science now. We're actually getting automation researched as we generate the first 10 red science packs in our thing here, which is really nice. And I'm right here. What I'm doing is checking up what I need for steam power, because we need it. So so as soon as the science is done, I need to be able to make a boiler, a steam engine, pump, and some more electric poles. So here I'm mining the stone. Figure I'll grab 10, and then my pick runs out, which is really annoying because that's just yet another thing I need to make in my single thing here. But oh well. Let's see, what do we got next here? We got, I guess I could talk about some of the mods I've installed. I've got Resource Overhaul installed. It's set up in the Railworld setting. So, and the resources, it's not just Railworld, but it's Railworld with resources turned down even farther. And biter evolution turned on very, very slowly. And biters will also evolve. Not only will they evolve, they will also expand. So it's extremely slow compared to the regular game because I don't want to be inundated with biters, but I want to have to deal with them because I do enjoy the biter threat. I just don't generally enjoy the mechanic of fighting them. This doesn't seem like a game where you should be fighting creatures. You should be setting up your factory so you can defend against those creatures. That's just my thing. So night is finally going away, which is nice. Oh, another thing, you see those green dots on everything and the red dots on a couple things? That's the Bottleneck mod. It's one of my favorite mods. The lights are green if everything's running okay. They're yellow if you're failing because you're not getting any inputs, and they're red if you're failing because you're not getting any outputs. I might have those inputs and outputs wrong, but that's the basic idea, is green is good, red and yellow is bad. And then it helps you find bottlenecks in your factory, which is awesome. And it does it just by glancing, which is just perfect. So automation's done. That's awesome. So we can actually make assemblers if we only had power. So I'm clearing out some space here. I've got the steam going. I've need more power poles though. So grab some wood. Let's make some. What am I making here? I'm making more science. I guess I have the power poles already. I don't have the power poles already. I don't know what I'm doing. I guess because it's daytime, it doesn't really matter that much. I figure I can do that. I can figure I can do that anytime I want. And I'm not sure why I'm grabbing more stone here. I guess I just want more stuff. I don't think I need anything other than, there we go, there's our power poles. So now we're making power poles, and now let's attach, finally, the power. And it's just in time for night. And I'm just gonna start falling right now. The solar power is no longer a big deal. And you notice I'm researching optics, which seems kind of weird, but that's what those power poles are. The mod in particular is lighted power poles. I think it's lighted power poles 2 or plus or something like that. There's 2 of them on there. It's the one that's been recently updated. And that's all my power poles are going to be lighted. That way I never need to place lamps specifically. You see there, the factories just got dumped down, which is awesome. But I don't need to place lights anywhere. The power poles themselves have lights on them, and you have to build them in a factory with a light and a power pole, so it's not like you're cheating or anything like that. But it's a nice quality of life thing that I like having light in my factory, but I don't like sometimes fiddling with where to place the lights and remembering to place them and having to build them and all that jazz like that. So but anyway, I'm building factories here, and I'm building arms. I'm basically just getting all the stuff so I can get all of these blueprints that I've placed down put down. And as soon as they all get put down, I can start dumping resources into those and actually making the science, the belts, and the gears and the circuits. Now, obviously, I don't need the gears and the circuits, but the gears and the circuits are going to allow me to more quickly make things in the Assembler 3. That is kind of my handcrafting equivalent here. And finally, we're making belts. And also, the way I've set these blueprints up, I can, with a little bit of fudging, I can run belts over there eventually, and I think I'll be doing that. I don't know if I get to it this episode or if it's next episode. I recorded both episodes in a row here. What else can we talk about? Well, we've got up in the left-hand corner, you see I got a couple mods installed. I've got the EvoGui mod that everybody likes. Mostly I have it installed so I could see the timer, so I know when to stop playing. I would install a mod that rang a bell or paused the game or something every hour on the hour. If somebody writes that, I will happily install it, or if somebody points me to one, I will happily install that one too. I've also got the Folk Fill mod. That's kind of an autofill replacement. Autofill was always kind of iffy. for me at least. I don't know why, but the folk fill mod basically does the exact same thing, only it actually works. So that when you place miners or anything that runs on coal, it'll put coal in it, and it'll also put wood in it too. And I actually end up having, you'll notice I'm constantly taking wood out of things because if I don't have coal in my inventory, it takes the wood out. And here I've decided to fast track getting iron up to these things automatically, so I don't have to worry about grabbing iron and moving it over here, so that we can get the science going automatically. And then I snake this thing through here in nice spaghetti fashion, and I end up changing this because it's ugly, but you'll see as soon as we start here. Now we're making the belts automatically, and then I'm going to bring it around here. As soon as I get enough belts, I'm going to bring it around so that we can do the gears automatically as well. And I put some coal in the furnace up there just to make sure that everything happens fine. And I got to fiddle with my power poles. There is a better way to do this, and I do eventually do that. But this is all temporary. I'm not going to spend a lot of time making this work, because this is all going to get torn up. Most of it's actually already been torn up by the end of the second episode. This is merely to make what I would normally do in handcrafting, make that possible. So I finally have logistics, so now I have splitters and underground belts and stuff, which is awesome. And we're working on electronics so that I can finally get automation 2 going. Electronics I don't actually care about. All I care about is the fact that it gives me the ability to do automation 2. And once I have automation 2, then I can start that mini bus that I was talking about earlier. The only other mod that I really want to talk about this episode is that I've got the initial scan mod installed, and at some point in the first minute or so of this video, it told me that the initial scan had completed, and I like that mod because it lets you see a little bit more of the map. I think the stock game is a little bit too it's a little bit too stingy with the revealing of the map. So I have a couple mods installed that are going to allow me to see what's happening in the world a little bit better, and we'll get to those when we do. So here we are. I finally got a factory, an actual factory that is doing actual things, and obviously the bottleneck, as it always is with iron. So my first job here is to get iron, and my first thought here is I'm going to actually do a real smelting. I'm gonna get some more miners. I'm gonna set up a smelting operation. I think it's worth doing. This might end up being where the smelting ends up being. You see my the mod there just placed all the belts really quickly, which is really nice. But I figure it's worth putting the investment right now into getting that smelting going, just because I'm doing so poorly on iron production. So I'm clearing away the trees here, making sure that we have room to go into here. And this, like I said, this might end up being like where I do smelting. I wouldn't be surprised if I end up moving this. Eventually I'm going to upgrade it to better furnaces and things like that, obviously. So this is all, as I've said many times, temporary. So obviously, I don't know if you noticed here, I put this in the exact wrong place. Also, you notice there's a bug in my blueprint for my things here. I don't actually have a yellow arm on the lower left there, and I decided to take away almost all of this just because this is getting started. What that was, the blueprint that I put down was it's half of a full smelting array. It's specifically for beginning builds, so now I've made some miners here, which is nice. So I'm deciding where to place them. I'm sort of thinking I'm gonna get enough just to cover the whole area here, so that I get a nice steady supply that isn't necessarily as fast as possible. And I need to bring coal in, so I'm just running the line right now. I'm gonna hook it all up later, but I'm just setting it up so it works. And we've already got some smelting going on, which is nice, just to keep the factory going while I fiddle around with all these things. Also, eventually I'm going to need to run a coal line up to the steam engine, and then probably the least priority thing is the copper needs to also get done. So yeah, and I decide that I'm gonna keep those 2 burner miners going, just so I always have kind of a 100 coal buffer zone down there that I can always use if I anything bad happens, like the coal completely runs out or something like that, and I can really quickly throw coal into the steam engines up there. And I need a ton more stone, so I'm gonna mine a whole bunch here on just on my own, and then I decide, you know what, I should probably just invest the time into actually mining it and running a line down. And here we've run out of power, obviously, because we're not automatically running coal up to the steam engine yet, so I'm gonna have to manually put the coal in there for the time being. It's not a big deal. And I don't know exactly how many miners can fill how many things, but obviously I think I have 6 up there. That's more than enough for 2 miners. They should the problem should be that I'm not mining enough iron right now. And here here's where I decide to run coal up to the steam engine so that I don't have to. Oh, it's so nice to just have those belts. One of the things I love about Lazy Bastard is it forces you to make these factories, and the benefit of that is you end up not relying on your handcrafting like you do in a lot of these games. One of my problems is I'll be making I'll be making nuclear power plants, and then I realize I've never automated belts because I'm just constantly building belts by hand, and it's really nice to not have that, to have just belts sitting in a box that you can just grab anytime you want. It's a very nice thing. So it's worth it to me, this hour and a half of setup that I wouldn't normally be doing in order to have guaranteed the fact that everything I want is going to be in a box somewhere all game long. I've now set up the assembler 3 on the iron line so that it's always pulling iron off the line. I still need to feed it anything else, but iron is probably the biggest thing with it. So that is that's just what it is. And as we're wrapping up here, we're in the last 10 minutes of gameplay, the last 3 minutes of the video. Yeah, I'm setting up, clearing out more of these trees for the eventual minibus, which I have blueprints for. I kind of like the entire blueprint idea, how you could actually have everything you've ever wanted in a blueprint, and then you're just deciding where to put the blueprints. I noticed an assembler 1 makes red science slightly faster than a lab uses it, so I decided to just put a second lab down there. It's an overkill as far as labs are concerned, but my goal right now is to make as much generate as much science as possible with that one assembler, and I wasn't, so I might as well round up the number of labs I need. And looks like I'm making more electric poles. Yep. Oh, and you see the electric pole with the little dot next to it. That's the lighted electric pole mod. I'm not putting those in there yet because they're expensive, and I don't want to spend the iron on lights yet. But I will eventually be doing that. And all my blueprints have the lighted ones. So here we are. I'm setting up the bus to finish the game here. Oh no, I'm setting up science. Yeah, this is my big red-green science thing, and I'm deciding where I want to put it. I opted eventually to put it up above this area. Obviously, it's going to be in the way of power in a while, but this is not where science is going to end up. Much like this factory that's down here, the science thing up there is that's just a temporary thing to get red and green science going as quickly as possible, so that we can get trains going as quickly as possible. Because I don't know if you noticed that iron patch down there is not very large, and not only is it not very large, but there isn't another one nearby. That's part of Rail World, is you don't have a lot of things nearby, and in order to I'm finally accepting the fact that I need more stone here. So I'm just running the stone down. I think I end up boxing it eventually, but I think that's next episode. But anyway, I'm gonna have to go far to get more iron, and it's far enough that I'm going to want trains. So I need to get iron and steel going and get enough train tracks and engines and stuff made in order to get more iron back to the base. And that's really my main goal here, is to get that. As soon as I have that, I'm good to go. And speaking of go, we are about ready to go. We've got about 30 seconds left on the video. So as I hop up more iron plate production here, I'm going to bid you adieu. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Let me know how you like the post commentary. This is a new thing for me. I'm hoping I'm going to get better at it. I think it hopefully turned out kind of well. I'm HMV though, and I will, as always, talk at you later.